does, they're talking about trying the chat, like, how does that end?
I don't think it has ended yet.
It hasn't?
No, I'm pretty sure it hasn't.
Huh, because it's taken forever.
Yeah, well, it's like, you get, like, one movie a year, and the movies are, like, maybe 90 minutes, maybe an hour long a piece. Like, that's all that it is.
That new girl isn't real, right?
Do you really want to be spoiled on things? Because I
don't actually intend to be all that serious about that movie series. I don't care that much. She's just they're just pulling a Tenchi in Tokyo, right?
I have no idea.
She feels too constructed. She's too clearly a weird Mary Sue that's been self-inserted into the existing cast and then seamlessly just sort of pushed into it and then is suddenly super plot heavy. It's like, that feels like it's a commentary on fan fiction, and then it's going to turn out that she is just some sort of illusion being made by her evil Digimon or whatever.
I don't know. Like, maybe it could work. It might not be the case. I'm never sure.
Yeah, they're saying it's ended, and the caps lock don't
did
spoil.
It? Okay, it did end then.
Like, you guys don't gotta spoil it in there to each other. Like, that's just...
I can't spoil it to Megan, and she can't spoil it to me. We haven't finished
if any of you haven't seen it, it's like, you know, if no one wants to hear it,
don't
we
spoil
won't
each
do
other in
anything,
chat.
but that's my guess, is that it's just some Tenchi in Tokyo shit where that's just a fake person.
It might be. I have no fucking clue.
If it's not, then it's just an actual Mary Sue. That's annoying.
Yeah, I guess. You know, people forget that there is a Tenchi series that is not Tenchi in Tokyo that uses that exact same concept as the one in Tenchi in Tokyo. It's not a series. It's a there's a movie. God, which one is it? I want to say it's... Oh no, it's one that opens and you don't think it's a Tenchi movie, and it takes you forever to realize it is. It's literally like Tenchi, and it opens and Tenchi is like living with a woman, and it's somebody you've never seen before, and he's a painter. And he's painting pictures of the other girls every once in a while, but outside of that he's mostly just doing paintings of homes and stuff, and he's living in a really nice like apartment in Tokyo, and she has like a CEO job or something. And it takes place when Tenchi is in like his 30s or something, and it's revealed that he doesn't remember ever having dealt with any of the other things, and then slowly over time the other girls start to show up, and you start realizing that like Tenchi has apparently been pulled into some kind of dimension by a ghost that just wants to be his perfect wife. And it's just the weirdest fucking like idea for a movie. I don't know. I would say it's like Tenchi Muyo in Love 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Tenchi lore is like...
Tenchi lore is terrifying.
You know the thing with Digimon where it just changes from game to game, but it turns out it's just like it's different teams doing things, they weren't serious. Tenchi lore is like if it was done on purpose to be confusing.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't talk too much about Tenchi Muyo, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's... Tenchi Muyo is it's for perverts, but it's also weirdly richly world built.
Yeah. It was on Toonami when we were kids.
Yeah, censored heavily.
Oh yeah.
Like we've seen the uncensored subtitle stuff.
I saw the uncensored stuff as a child.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
It was because me and my sister would rent videos from our local video store.
Oh shit, yeah.
And if you rent things like that, they're not going to be censored. They also had some fucking, like, not community dubs, but, like, local dubs there, which was a thing that only happened, as far as I know, in the fucking 90s, and it's amazing. It was basically, you used to get these things where it was like, anime was popular, but anime for adults was, like, virtually unknown. So you'd get things like animes coming out of Japan, where literally just some guys in, like,
that doesn't do it.
No,
that's a ration.
Does a normal ration do it?
No.
Okay, then I have nothing to counteract it anymore.
Just squat.
I guess I better. But it's like, it would just be like local groups would
just move.
Pull together.
Can
move. Oh. Can you move and still have it do? Okay, yeah. It didn't used to be that. It used to be that you'd have to squat and then you couldn't move.
Yeah, well now you can also potion and move. I guess it's the same idea.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, it used to be that in the 90s you'd get people who would get together and they'd be like, you know, we have... I don't know, $15,000, let's just buy the rights to an anime, and then we'll dub it in our garage, and then we'll sell it. And it was just garage dubs. They were fucking great. I think that's the argument behind, like, where a lot of people know about it because it's famous for how bad the dub is, but is it Scary Stories, I want to say? I can't remember the exact name of the thing. But they used to have a bunch of those at my local video store, and they were just absolutely fucking amazing. That's all I was saying. Because before the internet, before people, you know, would, like, openly, I don't know, like, trade around dubs or subs that were fan-made, there was an occasion in the 90s where, like, you had people who were literally just regular folks, possibly in your town or 2 towns over, dubbing anime in someone's garage. Legally, in fact.
Yeah. These days, just
weird animes too.
Everything is already owned by someone, so all those rights, someone snapped them up. Even
oh yeah, no, at this point,
it's
that's
like,
in this day and age, that is exactly what happens.
It's like URL squatting. Like it's all just been done.
Ooh. Yeah, Ghost Stories, by the way. Somebody figured it out.
Yeah, we've seen the original Tenchi that it's like, yeah, this is for perverts. It's like, I mean, I've seen worse because I've been to the internet, but like, this is like I just keep wanting them to get to like the lore, and then when they do, it's like, yeah, tell us about some Jirai shit. No, everyone's related. Okay, just give us some history and some science stuff, some science fiction, and then it's like, no, why is the boobs out for this?
Yeah.
Just get to the plot.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, just I don't even remember why we started talking about Tenchi.
Because I think that one girl from the Digimon movies is a fake person.
Yeah, maybe. She has a neat Digimon though.
It's okay.
It's a Maine Coon.
Yeah, it's a cat.
I'm
cat. Always gonna be like cool with cats. Like as far as cat design goes, it's like
It is
okay.
kind of just a cat, in all fairness. Like
it's got weird eyes, but that's it.
Yeah, it's literally like, oh, it's a different breed of Gatomon at that point.
And it's got like
enough.
2 tails or more, I don't remember, and it's got weird eyes, and that's
yeah, well then I don't know. In one of the early movies, I think it does a thing where its face changes too. But
I don't know.
Anywho, is he over there? He is. I've been lucky enough thus far that I have not had to fight them both at the same time.
You could just try and get them to fight each other.
I don't think they would. Do Otogarons actually fight?
Yeah. In the one challenge in the arena quests where you have to fight 2, you can just have them fight each other. They will go for each other.
Fair enough.
They'll still go for you. It's just whoever they see first, they try to kill. Because they're angry all the time.
Weird.
In that one, though, you can also get one of them to come... Because it's in the other arena, you can have one of them just ignore you in the pit if you just haven't gotten it to spot you, and have the other one lured up onto the top, and then you just go in a circle, and you can outrun it. Just by walking.
Huh.
Like, you just keep a consistent back up, back up, back up, shoot it with the bow gun, keep backing up. If it gets bleed on you, you just squat and walk, and so long as you're not directly in its path, like you do a little bit of a serpentine, you will outrun it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I have fought a ton of Otogarons just in general.
Like,
for some reason.
Really fought very many, but I've been fighting an awful lot today.
Yeah, for some reason, it's just Otogarons are just a thing that I've gotten good at, like, just particularly not getting destroyed by. I don't know. I mean, they're cool. I like their armor. Ooh, story from St. Mog. I didn't have any experiences with accidentally being gifted or borrowing inappropriate anime as a kid, but my grandma had a really fancy cable and that had some anime channel with some weird stuff like evil clown doctors and guys getting big boobs so they can pilot robots. That sounds like anime.
Interesting, okay. I used to have the international channel, so I got to watch like a lot of Japanese dubs of things with English subtitles, which was actually really nice.
I lived in Hawaii for most of my life, so I had the Japanese-American channel,
yep,
which did air Pokemon before WB snapped it up. It was still the 4Kids dub, but like the first cluster of episodes were not exclusively WB. It was like just regular syndication.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of other stuff, and they had Sonic Underground for some reason,
Weird.
Which is not anime. But like they just had a bunch of stuff
Sonic is Japanese. So
they had regular,
sort of
like just live action Japanese stuff, like dramas and stuff, and they were subtitles. And then they'd have anime, and some of them were subtitled. And I think it was just done locally for a lot of it.
I think that's how the international channel when I was younger, I mean, I wasn't actually that young. 'Cause I think how I saw El Hazard originally. And I know that's how I saw the original version of Slayers. And then later on, it turned out that Fox had picked up Slayers at some point, thinking it was a children's series, and wound up holding onto the rights for like 15 years. Because if we can't make money off the rights, then no one can. And it was actually like the biggest, most like annoying fucking thing I'd ever fucking seen. Because I was like, I really want to see Slayers. Who picked that up? And then it turned out that it's like fucking Fox.
A few years
they had
ago,
no interest in it. Like,
a few years ago, we saw Slayers subtitled on. Well, no, we saw the dub. We saw the dub. It was Hulu.
Both, I think, right?
Like we looked at the subtitles so that we knew what the voices sounded like, but we looked at we actually watched the dub.
Yeah, it's got Dean Venture in it.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, he's
but
one
like
of
the whole thing is on there's like I just sort of looked and was like, this is exactly my aesthetic. This 90s,
it's super good.
80s.
Slayers is amazing.
Everyone's wearing giant orbs for some reason. Everyone's hair is huge. It was great. It was amazing.
I know what Rain is. I never actually watched more than about an episode of it because I couldn't get into it, and I think when it came out, it was at a time when I was more interested in other things, but I don't remember what. I can't quite remember.
Is that thing that was... Yeah, it was on Adult Swim, and it was just really just a disgusting... Everyone was made of beef jerky and was wearing a thong. And I looked at 2 minutes of it, and was like, ugh, this is unpleasant to look at. It was just the art style, honestly, but I just turned it off.
You're really tearing it a hole there. What?
I mean, it was gross looking. Slayers is on Hulu. You should go watch it.
Yeah, if it's still on Hulu, actually.
It probably is. I don't know. But it's pretty good.
I mean, Hulu has been losing a lot of things over the last couple of years, but...
They do that thing that a lot of anime did. I guess some still do it, but it seems to be less of a thing because it became so cliche. The whole character who's really insecure about small boobs thing, and it's like, that's not... Lena's boobs aren't even that small. It's just kind of annoying that they kept bringing it up. What I love is
now
that
he's gonna ruin it. This I think is the second time I've carded in this whole attempt at this. Oh, I didn't even card. Okay,
there we go.
well.
Yeah, the great thing about the Slayers dub is that it has a lot of the same voice actors as Pokemon.
Oh
like,
yeah, but it's
pre
pre-4 kids, so it's like you get like Brock, but it's not quite Brock. It's the guy before he was even like hired to do any kids stuff ever.
Well, like the voice for Gowry is a little bit Brock, but a little bit
It's
Kaiba.
a little bit James too, like because it's the same guy.
Yeah, when he screams, it's James. When he talks, it's like a weird Brock Kaiba thing.
Yeah, because it's the same guy for all of them. But it's like there's this weird fucking like. People don't ever really talk about this, but there was an era when a lot of those voice actors, like the ones that we really know, like well, those people had work in like anime that was not what they were used to doing. So like the Brock James Kaiba guy getting things for like teens to adults, and I think there's a character in there who cusses once in a while. I think it's the princess, who is Amy Rose, if I remember correctly, or was Lena Amy Rose?
Yeah, I think
one of them is. I know that.
The Sonic 06 Amy Rose is Lena Inverse.
I think it's every Sonic, by the way.
I don't think that's true, because I don't think any Sonic has consistent voice actors.
No, dude, I'm almost positive like every Sonic has consistent voice actors. All of the games, with the exception of Eggman, who, bless the guy, passed away at some point. He, the Eggman from about the Adventure era was one guy up until, I want to say, 06, and then I think he was replaced by a different guy. I think. I can't be 100% sure.
Like, I was under the impression that there were multiple...
Nah, I think they're almost always the same people.
I
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, we can't look it up right now. We're busy fighting a dog. Well, you... But either way, yes. At one point, at least, Lena Inverse was Amy
Somebody
Rose.
answered in the comments.
Sonic has consistent voice actors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I was under the impression that for certain games, they had, like they had the characters in Sonic 06 have the 4Kids Sonic X voices?
No,
and
Sonic
X
used the adventure voices.
Did they?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's all the same people. They never change.
I was given different information somewhere, I
Yeah,
guess.
sorry.
All right.
I'm almost positive that's the case.
Okay. This Odogaron has torn up the ground. Oh, it's gone. It fades.
I think 06 got the, if I remember correctly, I think they got the Eggman, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that Eggman, the one up until that point in the games, I think was one guy, and then I think either he stopped or he passed away. I don't remember which one. You know, I just realized when I hit this guy, it turns blue. This has actually been a, whatchamacallit this whole time.
This is tempered?
He might be tempered.
He's not that shiny.
No, but it is Odogaron, who's mostly, like, exposed meat muscles, so...
It's true. I think that might be supposed to be interpreted as, like, rhino leather.
Possibly, but it just looks like he's got meat muscles. Like,
Yeah, he looks like he just has no skin.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's not tempered. Maybe I was thinking too much about it.
Okay, we're getting some different infos, like, Sonic X is used for kids.
Oh, okay.
Apparently the current Amy Rose is the voice actor that did Makoto from BlazBlue.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm honestly usually pretty bad at picking up individual voices that I should recognize.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, unless they're, like, really obvious. Like, you're gonna know when it's Gilbert Gottfried. Except that I found out that there's, like, a Gilbert Gottfried impersonator who sometimes does voices.
There's plenty of people who impersonate Gilbert Gottfried.
But, like, there's one guy who does it and you just can't tell.
Yeah, it's hard to do it well, but you can do it. Like, I'm not going to do it right now because my throat's still kind of sore, but I have a Gilbert Gottfried timer sometimes.
Okay, people are gonna have to start telling you to do it every time until you actually do.
No, but like I said, my throat's like really, it's not super fucked, but I think people have been able to tell during the Neptunia episodes where it's like, I'm trying to do voices and I'm like it's not working. I don't know if it's allergies or if I'm still getting over being sick, but my throat is just not making voices good. They're all over the place.
That's fine.
We did a session for Neptunia that I think starts tomorrow, and it's like I'm trying to do voices throughout the entire thing, and they're coming out better than they were in the session prior to that, but not by much.
Yeah. I think my vocal performances in Neptunia have been super inconsistent in general, so, like, if I'm particularly bad, no one's gonna notice. Half the time I forget which voice I'm using for anyone.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, somebody said that there's a flu going around, so that could be it.
Yeah.
We might just have another one of those situations that we had a few years ago where there's just a super flu on the loose.
That wasn't a few years ago. That was like
Was that last
6
year?
months
Oh,
ago.
okay, then.
I mean, if we're thinking
Well,
the same
still,
thing.
yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, it was around Christmas time.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's more than 6 months, but it was
That
less
was
than
almost a
year.
year ago.
Whatever. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. Why is it October already?
Because the skeletons needed to get in here quick.
Oh, you're being told you need to use your Gilbert Gottfried voice in Neptunia.
Oh, I don't even know who would. Oh my god, I killed it again with a shot.
Oh, that's weirdly consistent.
That's so weird. Yeah, okay, maybe I can find a character that I can do it
Yeah,
for.
they'll give us new characters
Yeah,
eventually.
eventually they do.
Eventually,
Oh,
we
look,
just
there's a taunt.
need... Yeah. That's not that useful.
No, thanks, Tao.
Eventually, we're just gonna have to do, like, a demo reel of all the voices we can do.
Yeah, no.
Not for anyone's benefit, but ourselves, so we can keep track of which persons are which voices.
Yeah.
I
agree.
still don't remember what I'm doing with, like, the Noir and Uni voices most of the time. How many more tickets do we need?
I think I only needed one.
Okay, so that's cool.
We probably got it there. I was talking about it earlier though, like the concept of a tabletop Digimon game. I was thinking about it a while ago, and then I brought it up recently, and I was trying to rework it. And one of the things that I get nothing but joy out of is the concept that I decided that you play as a human character, and that the human characters totally have classes despite being like kids fucking in Digimon games.
The way you said that
Yeah,
last
okay.
sentence was
Sorry,
bad.
there was a comma in there. Kids in fucking Digimon games. Like just Because you play as, like if it's Digimon, you're playing as a child and you've got your fucking anime dog.
A character anywhere from like 6 to 16 years old.
I would open that and say you could play anybody of any
yeah, but like generally
age.
That's like the young. They usually don't get younger than maybe 6 for the little
well, there's
siblings.
only like the 1 or 2 characters that are even that young.
Yeah, but then like the upper edge is like as long as they're like teenagers of some sort and they're still protagonists.
But classes.
Material.
Like I went with the concept of doing classes, and it just makes me giggle when I see it because I wrote them down in a stupid way. Like I had decided at some point, like years ago when I originally tried to do this, that if you wanted to play as a character who functions the same way that they do in like season 4, you could totally do that. And I called the class Frontiersman.
Okay, you're just really happy about that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
just
even a
terrible
pun.
puns, just really bad puns.
It's not a pun, it's just a reference.
Yeah, because I don't think there's an official term for whatever the hell that was.
There was, and I don't remember. It was like Legendary Warrior or something.
Well, sure, but I feel like that's not really a good way to put it. That's just kind of...
Yeah, but like there was a thing they kept getting called.
Make me a Mega Man gun out of these burning dragon bones with your forge and your hammers.
They used pickaxes on it and then built it in Minecraft and then gave it to you.
Yeah, a little bit. So let's see. This thing's 40-40 with blunt. That's actually not that great. Yeah, but I want to see him use it anyway, so... Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. I want to see Tao shoot this gun. Like...
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck, like, there is for us to do outside of this.
Actual sprites of, like, Buster shots.
Oh, God, do you really want to hear me talk about it? Like, Chad is talking about it now. It's just... That was basically... That's as far as I got was Frontiersman. I made, like, 2 puns and went...
What was the second pun?
And then dropped the game.
That was one pun. What's the other one?
There aren't any other puns. I lied. That was.
You
was
doubled your
lie.
pun count. If people actually want to hear silly "What if I did Digimon," I could tell you stuff about the one I was working on in my head.
Hold on real fast.
I've never done any drawing or written anything down for it. I've got like vague character designs just in my head and haven't done anything with them. If people care, but it will just be me rambling forever.
Well, one of the things with the that I always kind of ran into as like a question of what was going on with the tabletop thing is I was never quite sure how I wanted to approach the concept of sentience with Digimon, because in most of the like extensive sort of stuff with like games and shows and stuff, the Digimon can talk. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you play that in a tabletop? You'd have to have another person there to play the Diggle.
That or like the Dungeon Master lets you have a certain level of autonomy for the character.
It would have to literally be one person playing the human and the Digimon, the Dungeon Master playing the Digimon, or another human being coming in literally just to do voices and talk as a character who, for all intents and purposes, kind of wouldn't do anything on their own because the human being would be commanding them around. And I was always like really mixed on how I wanted to do that. I basically had an entire paragraph that I had written out when I was trying to collect information for this that was like, it boiled down to the DM has a lot more power in this than they probably should, and they would have a lot more like decision making than they might like.
Well, there are tabletop games where you have like a familiar companion and they can do things. Like all you have to do is be able to back it up with the being able to come up with dialogue.
Yeah, that's the issue. And then eventually I was like, well, you know what? They don't always talk in literally everything. Like some things they are just mindless animals. But then it gets confusing because you have some that are literally just human beings wearing like a single piece of armor, and it's like that's a Digimon, and it's like that would be weird for it to be an animal.
It looks like we got people wanting to hear the ones that I came up with.
Yeah, go ahead. You do it too.
Okay, so firstly, I was going to cut it down to like 4 protagonists. I'm the kind of person who likes a lot of characters, but a lot of the Digimon stuff had redundant characters. So, like, slash them in half. Just 4. That's fine. At least to start. So it would be 4 kids, don't know each other. They're on like a bus or something, and then it gets sucked in the digital world. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was going to be everyone
bus.
has. I don't know. It was just the easiest thing to start with. Bunch of people who don't know each other in one place at the same time.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So it's going to be everyone has some kind of handheld electronic on them because it's it's present year they're going to, and each one would be something different. And those would turn into the Digivices. And they would maintain the general shape and function of what they were. You looking for something?
Wait a minute. Was one of those 9-star quests?
I think you had an extra star, but only for, like, plot stuff.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm thinking about it now, and it's clicking. Yeah, 9 stars. I was like, oh, I'll just do a couple of 9-star quests. And then I get over here and I look at it, and it's like, wait a minute, because
it's for special things.
If you go into optionals, it's literally the highest they
I'm
go is
there's hunter rank fuckery.
8. And then if you go into assigned, yeah, you kind of get 9 in here, but it's like all of the really, really specific ones.
Yeah. Are you looking for any particular kind of quest?
No, I was just looking to
time?
see what I had in way of 9. The Radabon, I could hunt a tempered Radabon.
Oh yeah, you did that a while ago.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't super shiny, but it was shiny.
I don't know. I just find strange. I find it strange that they're like, oh, we'll do that. Tobi-kadachi, who cares?
Yeah, shiny
It's a
squirrel.
fucking Toby.
Something to do.
Something to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
You continue.
All right. So it's going to be everyone has a different device, and each of them turns into a Digivice, and it keeps the functionality of what it was to start with. It was going to be, one of them was going to be a laptop, one of them was going to be like an iPhone. I wasn't completely sure. I wanted 4 characters, and I could think of laptop, iPhone, a DS, and then the 4th one I wasn't completely sure. Just the tentative idea was a flip phone, so it would just be 2 different phones. But it might turn into like a camera or something. But
people don't really carry cameras around.
Yeah, that was part of the problem.
It's not a thing.
Yeah. But it was gonna be the Digimon pops out of it. It's kind of intrinsically tied to the device they had because it is based off of their personal data. So it's like a collection of, this was my Twitter account, this was my Facebook.
That's just what Appmon is, though.
Can I finish?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It wasn't an app, it was based on their posting history.
Oh,
so
okay,
it would
fine.
be a
Jeez.
collection of basically like one of the machine learning algorithms, but it's just your personality, and then it kind of reflects that as a Digimon, because there would have to be some digital magic nonsense, because there always is. It's not going to be a perfectly scientific thing, but it was going to be that each kid had character flaws that they had to overcome, but that was going to be the crest that they're given. And that their Digimon would have to power up by overcoming the character flaw and transforming the crest into something else. So the only one that I had down as like a definite, this is how this is going to work, was going to be jealousy. It was going to be, oh, this is a girl, she has the iPhone, she's really concerned about her looks, her grades, her standing in school. She's just thinking everyone else is better at being normal than I am. I've got to step it up. I've got to be the best at whatever. And that her Digimon was going to be based off of that. It was, I didn't have a design in mind, but I was pretty sure I wanted to go with a bug. So she's a jealous person. She's got, I think I was going with like a mosquito. So it's like, it's a blood-sucking little monster. It's petty, and so is she. And then jealousy, whatever the crest would end up being, when she figures out her character arc, it gains more lines on the crest and becomes, it was going to be ambition. So it's not like everyone has what I want and I'm going to try and get what they have. It's, I want something and I'm going to get it. It doesn't matter what other people have. I know what I want. So it became jealousy turned into ambition, and then the crest changes, and then that's how the Digimon evolves.
Speaking of crests, by the way, I don't know how many people realize this, but did you know that the crests are consistent across every single everything? And that, like, it's always the same sort of, like, designs for the crests, and it's almost always the exact same crests. And there are canon armor digivolutions for the characters in Season 2 using the crests of the other characters.
Oh yeah, there's like a whole grid, isn't
there?
there?
Yeah, there's a huge map you can find that's about that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you.
it's okay. So it was going to be like 4 kids. It was a girl who's got jealousy turns into ambition. There was going to be another girl. She was going to have a laptop. She would be like a fan fiction writer kind of person, just kind of like a live journal drama kind of person. And hers was going to be, I wasn't completely sure what it was going to turn into, but it was going to start as anger. It was going to be like, this is someone who gets really mad if you don't like the same ships as her kind of thing. I think hers was going to be the generic T-Rex, but I was going to figure out something to make it cooler than just a generic T-Rex. And I don't remember what her, like, I wasn't completely sure how her crest was going to evolve. And there was going to be a boy who was just kind of an obnoxious person, kind of self-centered and shithead. It was going to be Vanity, and I think it was going to turn into Confidence. And I gave him, I think it was going to be a bunny with robot parts. So it was supposed to be like, this is kind of an embarrassing Digimon for this kid to have because this is one of the boys and he's a little self-conscious, but then it's like a little fluffy thing, and then he kind of gets over it and realizes also that the bunny, because it's supposed to be based off of your posting data, just your persona that you present online, was going to be, oh, well, the bunny's cute and nice, that means something about the kid, that he's more than just a little dick. And then the 4th was also going to be a boy. He was going to have like a game console. It was going to be like a DS or a PSP or something. And he was going to be kind of the weird creep one. So like, this is the one who plays a lot of anime games. I'm not going to get too into it because these were supposed to be kid characters, so it can't be too gross, but like...
It's not right to say that somebody who plays a lot of anime games is a creep anyway, because we play a ton of anime games.
You know the type I'm talking about, but
saying.
I'm thinking like a teenager version of it would be just like I'm stepping the first toes into the 2D waifu kind of thing, like kind of like a reserved kid who doesn't really connect to other kids, but connects really well to the characters in his games. And is kind of a snob about it. So I want to say his was going to be, his crest starts as obsession and then it turns into something that goes from, I think the tentative was going to be compassion, and it was supposed to be like I'm really good at this thing and I know a lot about it and I'm obsessed with knowing as much about it as possible, to I'm going to teach people about this thing because I love it so much. With the thing in that case being like the games he played. His Digimon was going to be initially kind of a joke waifu thing. Like, it was going to be literally a moe blob. I think it was also going to be a plant.
Fair enough.
Because those are traditionally for the girls, so it's like, oh, it's a little girl blob face and it's got leaves on it or something. And it's like, oh, it's cute, and this is going to be like my best friend. And then he realizes, you know what? I don't want to be creepy about that. He realizes that this is more like a pet than like any other kind of companion. I'm still trying to work it out so it doesn't just sound like a weird waifu thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find where the borderline is, but I think people get kind of what I mean.
I don't know.
And each kid was going to also get a different type of Diggle evolution. So I want to say the fanfic girl was going to get the standard thing where she gets like what's the tag thing, where it's just like an item that gives you the power and then you just have to be good at what you're doing. I didn't have anything super specific. Yeah, well, they all have crests because they're.
So you kind of. So a crest is also a physical object.
Yeah.
The concept of the crest is more like an idea of a destiny. That's like a personal symbol. But you can have just the crest as like the physical, the one that goes into the tag and then you carry it around.
Yeah, it was basically that. Just that she has the thing where it's just power to more power to more power. There's no super gimmick. There is like a MacGuffin to it, but it's not inherently important and complex. I think it's mostly I just wanted the generic I'm a boy with a T-Rex and I'm the one who's strong to just be a girl. I didn't have too much more than that. I'll figure it out if I ever actually make like a write-up of this.
Yeah.
The other girl, the one whose thing was jealousy, was going to have little siblings, which would be part of the jealousy thing. It's like, oh, they get what I want. And maybe they get sucked into the digital world. I haven't made characters for that concept yet. The siblings don't have anything yet, except that they would also eventually have Digimon. But they'd be too young to be safe adventuring in the digital world. So she would be the one to hold on to the Digimon. Well, the kids can stay at home. The siblings can just be safe. But her thing would be that they've reconciled. She's no longer mad at them or jealous of the attention they get. So then what she gets is the Digimon fusion. Hers fuses with those of her siblings and they become a bigger evolution. One of the boys, the boy who wasn't the nerd, the one who's supposed to be like the vain, peacockish sort of, like just kind of an asshole kid, was going to be the one who does the human and Digimon fusion. And the idea being that it's one that kind of just goes against the image of him that he's trying to project, where he's super macho and it's like it's a fluffy bunny. And then just kind of realizes, like, I don't care. We gotta do things and be powerful and get stuff done. So it's like, yeah, just fuse with it. And then the last one, the nerd with the waifu, was going to get the armor evolution, the egg thingies, and each one would be a different, like a magical girl transformation for the little blob into like being a more humanoid character. And anytime anyone says like, oh, she's so pretty, and he's just like, shut the fuck up, don't think about it that way, this is my pet. Like, he becomes protective of that against people who would do the kind of thing he almost gets into. So each... Are there other evolution types?
Yeah, there's tons.
Okay, like any big ones that you would want to see represented in something if you were to throw them all in?
So we only ever got as far as like the third generation, but every single series for Digimon introduces a new kind of evolution. So from the third you go up to the fifth, or sorry, not from the fourth you go up to the fifth, and the fifth is the thing where the main character does the thing where he punches stuff and then gets the power.
Oh yeah, maybe that could be the villain. There was gonna be a villain kit. I don't have
fair, but...
anything worked out for that other than he's been in the digital world longer. His crest is evolved, so it's the positive version. And then when they find out that he's a bad guy, it reverts into the negative version. And it's going to be charisma turns into deception. That's all I've got, though. So maybe he could have that. I'm not sure.
Well, like I was saying, the fifth one has that thing where it's literally like, oh, well, you have certain aspects where you kind of pull other Digimon's power together, and then it can, influence the evolution and stuff like that. There's also something like there is actually in that series a concept of, I think they call it biohybridization, which is basically just a cross between it's almost weird. It's supposed to be like a cross between a bunch of different forms of normal Digivolution. So it's characters who are human beings but are turning into Digimon. But they are merged with them physically, and they are all armor Digimon specifically.
So it's like they put on the armor and become a Digimon, or is there an extra step of fusion?
No, it's literally like, okay, we have the Digimon's data or whatever, and it gets pumped into my body, creates a false Digicore, and then I explode as a Digimon. And it's always like a weird augmented version, like a bio version of some Digimon that's typically an armor Digimon. And it's weird. I kind of like the concept, but I feel like it's a little bit too cluttered and muddled if you do that.
Yeah.
And then the fifth series had generals, which honestly, I'm not a big fan of the fifth series. I can be honest. We've never really seen it almost
That's
at all.
That's the Data Squad one, right?
No, that's... No. Oh, no, I'm sorry, sixth. You're right. Yeah, not
yeah,
fifth.
I don't know anything about the sixth.
Yeah, the sixth is one that we didn't get into for stuff, but it's not a bad series from what I've seen. But it does have its moments where it's like I look at things from it and I'm like, why did they have to change this? What was wrong with it? And it's like, oh, the concept is you have one Digimon, like one partner, and your partner is like your base, and then you fuse other Digimon into it. And you can do things like literally fuse two bases together to get a specific Digimon that kind of just functions like hybridization. Or you could fuse a ton of Digimon into one and it'll turn into like Blankmon X10, and it's just like a bigger version of it.
Oh, that's we found toys from that thing, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Shoutmon is the main characters from that. But then he's also got like an additional little robot beetle thing that I think is somebody else's, but they fuse together sometimes.
Yeah, and, I don't know if I would have used that one.
And like one of the final scene spoilers for an anime that came out in like, I don't know, 2000, probably 10 or something. The final scene of the 6th series, I think, is the kid convincing all of the Digimon in the digital world to fuse into one thing.
Oh, it was a spirit bomb of bodies.
Yeah, it's literally like, okay, we have to fight this one thing that could literally like end the world, so let's just all work together. And they're like, can your partner even handle that? And he's like, no, but if we're all together, it doesn't matter. And then it turns into like it's this huge fucking like deific individual, and it's got rings floating around it that are just composed of other Digimon. And it's just this weird fucking like, it's really intense and really cool looking, but at the same time it's like, wow, that was a weird concept.
It's kind of unrelatable. Like, at that point it's abstract.
Well, it wasn't like, it's not like they open with that.
Yeah,
just
no,
a thing
that's a
that happens
final thing.
once, and it's to defeat the enemy that
Mega
I
Man
think
on
has
Jackrabbit.
figured out how to do some other big thing or something. It's already dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I gotta go actually capture that tobi-kadachi I was working on.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a capture mission. This is not a kill, so I don't have any of my stuff with me. I'm gonna have to go back to the tent and go get a bunch of it.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize it was a capture.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a capture either.
Well, you're right near a camp. Like up in the corner there, you see it?
Also, yeah, somebody pointed out, doesn't it just kind of look like a big golden version of its normal, like, Mega? And it's like, I think it does. I don't even remember. Like I said, I never actually watched the whole series. I just saw bits and pieces of it as it came out.
Yeah, I've literally only ever seen toys in the Dead Toys R Us and screen caps. On the
I know that
internet.
there are a handful of concepts that were brought up in that people really appreciated, but that form of Digivolution always kind of bothered the hell out of me. I just don't like it. I think they kind of reused that a little bit for the Atmon stuff, but not quite. Like, Atmon have a very specific form of personal Digivolution that I think involves sort of hybridization of certain apps, but not quite. And it comes out as being, like, really just, like, I don't know how much I want this. I like the idea of Atmon, and then it kind of fell flat on its fucking face, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, give me the idea where it's like literally your app and all of your history with the app and all this other stuff makes one specific Digimon that is 100% unique to you, and then just please let the series fall flat on its face and go nowhere at all. Thanks. Like, it didn't even get, like, I think I complained about this, but it for real didn't get even a mobile game, and it's like, why wouldn't you give that a mobile? It specifically takes place within, like, a mobile game.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to like see something.
Yeah, right?
Did the games for that even come out in America?
I don't actually know. I don't know if
Yeah.
they ever did.
I mean, sometimes it's just that I stop paying attention to certain things, but then sometimes it's like something drops off the face of the earth. It's like it did kind of like
A little bit.
like in the chat earlier, someone mentioned that it was in like the top 20 ranking anime of whatever season it came out in.
Probably.
But like it was like a blip. No one talks about it in America, really.
Well, I never see anybody talk about it anyway. Not unless you're talking about like Digimon fan groups or something like that.
Yeah, and
they'll
even
talk
then,
about
like
it,
people
but-
drop stuff in my Popka's Xbox about stuff like that. And I don't think
Yeah.
I've really seen any Appmon stuff.
I don't know what's up with that. You'd think it would have gotten way more attention than it did, too, because it wasn't a bad concept. Again, it was like, actually, I really appreciated the idea behind it, but it's like, it just didn't I don't know, I feel like it didn't work correctly. I feel like something kind of fell apart there.
Maybe someday I'll take my idea and like take off all the parts where it's called Digimon.
Yeah. Just make something else entirely.
I mean, I overhaul enough of it that it's honestly like you could just call it something else.
Yeah. In terms of the way that I wanted to do the tabletop thing, by the way, because people had asked about that, I'm going to answer that, I guess. Literally, character creation was pick your class, which determines the types of Digivolution that you have access to, and the way that your Digimon sort of interact with things, and then you pick a crest, and your character gains, I think it's like spirit, depending on how often you act to your crest, like in RP. And you have to gain spirit if you want to Digivolve, and your character, like your human character, I think had a level, but you had to increase it specifically just to gain access to other forms of Digivolution. Like greater forms, because you start out with like, oh, you have basic Digivolution, but then after that it's like, yeah, you kind of have to work to get the other ones. Like what, you start out as like a Digidestin? Well, if you want your fucking anime dog to go from like rookie to champion, you better be willing to go to like level 2 to do it. Which just means fighting things or potentially just gaining stats. Also, stats were a thing, but I was using a pip system, which is something that oh, wow.
Aww.
That's fine. Something I had to come back here eventually. Something I came up with, and then eventually I had to overhaul myself, and I recently tried to overhaul it again, so I'm kind of working back and forth on that one. A pip system is something that I refer to when I talk about like really simple, dumb tabletop things, where it's literally just you maybe have a total of 5 points for every stat. And then it's a system that I kind of came up with where it's like you got 2 general stat pools. Each one holds about 5, and they go up based on different things. And in that case, it was like, okay, well, you've got like attack, defense, and, you know, other or whatever. And they each have 5, and then you can go up. But if you go up, it falls into one pool, and your base stats stay in another one entirely. And it's like, it kind of keeps it so that you can't go stronger than a certain point, and the game can be used with a 6-sided die. Because literally everyone probably owns at least one 6-sided die, let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good reason.
You probably have more than you think you do, even in your house. Like, if you go and check right now, I bet you have more than you realize.
Are you agreeing and disagreeing with yourself again?
A little bit. But that's fine.
Yeah, there's also, like, I'm pretty sure you could just, like, go into, like, an app store and just type in dice and come up with a thing that'll just let you set the randomizers
that'll let you
for
do
numbers.
any die, though. Like, you could probably just get a dice roller from anywhere.
Yeah, you can make up dice that don't exist.
Yeah, like, let me roll a D64, and it's like...
No, that sounds like it could potentially exist.
No, it's that's not quite how that works.
Well, it's an even number at the very least.
That really doesn't have any effect on it. The way that polyhedral shapes work is that I forget what it is, but there's an algorithm that they have to fit to, and I think that number 64 might not fit to that algorithm.
It's a multiple of 2, 4, and 8.
I don't think it requires it to be a multiple of anything in particular, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not actually sure.
But it seems like mathematically it would fit into places.
Maybe, but I have no idea.
Not like if you tried to do like a 17-sided die, that probably wouldn't work.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a 100-sided die, by the way?
Yes.
They are insanity.
If
I was talking to somebody about
die types. It's like an orb.
Yeah, I was talking to people about
die
types recently, and it's like 100-sided die look nuts. Almost nobody owns one either because they're always stupid expensive for no reason.
Yeah.
You just use 2 10-sided die, and then you take one and you make it the 10 place, and you take the other and you make it the 1 place, and you're good. You're golden.
Yeah, but like some people would want to show off or have a more
some
accurate
some
probability.
people like to show off or have it actually doesn't affect your probability in any way.
Okay.
But some people do like to show off, and that's where you get people who own 100-sided die. And yes, it's basically a golf ball with numbers on it. Like,
Yeah.
it looks hilarious.
I've never actually participated in a tabletop game.
That's fair.
But I've been in many groups of people who have said they would, and then it just didn't happen for various reasons.
I consistently find groups who want to start D&D games and they never do. Or will start them and then the DM will have almost no idea what the fuck they're doing and then give up. One of the better D&D games I was a part of recently, which I say recently, but I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what have we been doing D&D?
Yeah. Was when I was doing D&D with somebody online. We were using Roll20, which, by the way, if you don't know what that is, Roll20, if you ever want to play D&D with people online, is like the best system to do it. You fuck, Tao. What are you? Why?
What happened?
Tao knocked me over.
What the hell? Tao.
I think it was Tao. It might have been a Gajalika. I might be like unfairly blaming her for
this
it.
is a Gajalika area, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
I don't
but
see any.
I'm not seeing it. That was my thing.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah, Roll20 is a good one for just playing online with people. We did like it's D&D and it's medieval, but we did superheroes, which is something that I don't suggest that you really do very often because that's not what the system's designed for. Just use like mutants and masterminds if you're going to do that. But it was D&D and it was superheroes, and I basically had a character that was Batman. It was basically just Batman, but he was also a dragon. Like
Dragon Man?
No, he was a dragonborn, which is like they look like upright humanoid dragons. And he was a barbarian, and he had like very low level flight, so he could jump from like a building and glide to the next building. And I had him basically just walk around and beat the crap out of people. And I really liked the concept for the character because he was like really,
you had to climb
really...
a vine, I think.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm trying to look for where it was. There it is.
Right there.
No. It's oh yeah, it is this one.
Well, they all connect up to the top.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to tell me to go somewhere else.
There really aren't dead ends in this area.
No, not really. But it was this weird thing where it was like, oh, well, he's Batman, so he's like really gruff and grimdark. And people expected the character in person because they only ever like interacted with him as Batman. So they were like, okay, well, this one time a character basically decided that they were going to try and kill Mom, like another player character, because he knew too much about them, and they were trying to hide something about themselves. And they go back to, they're like, hey, do you want to go back to your lair or whatever, and we'll talk about something? And he's like, sure. And then they get back, and Batman takes off his cowl, and he's like, oh, gee whiz, guys, I love this. This was so fun. And it's just like the guy basically is just, when he puts the cowl on, when he's Batman, he's super hardcore. And when he takes it off, he's like, oh, hey, everybody, let's read comics and play with cars in the corner. And they're like, what? And he's like very, very childlike and naive in the way that he acts when he's not wearing it. And they ask him about it, and they're like, what? Why do you act like that? And he's like, because that's how heroes act. And it's just like, he's out there murdering people with axes.
Just Hank from Venture Brothers?
A little bit, but he was really, really good at what he did. Like, a little bit.
That's some great display of Josh's vocal range.
No, it wasn't a mask that distorted his voice. I have a habit of playing characters who my DMs will typically decide have like hang-ups mentally. So it'll be things like, I had a character at one point who was a werewolf. And he denied being a werewolf, and he denied it so much and so consistently, like literally he denied it so much that characters who would have otherwise had like advantage when attacking a werewolf didn't get advantage attacking him. Because like the rules, my DM was like, if you can keep this up, if you can deny it as hard as you can, I will continue to give them no advantage for attacking you as a werewolf. And my character actively refused to believe he was a werewolf, to the point where people were like, is this denial like bordering on like we should have him looked at? Like, is there an issue here?
Well, was there definitive proof that he was a werewolf?
He literally, on multiple occasions, would turn into a werewolf in front of the rest of the party and would go on a murder spree and just kill half a town. And they'd be like, dude, you turned into a werewolf. We have to run. And he'd be like, no, didn't happen. And they're like, we watched it happen. He's like, no, I was here the entire time. And they're like, but you killed half the town. And he's like, well, I was sleeping, so it wasn't me. It could not have been me.
Is it that he didn't know it was him, or he's just straight up lying?
He straight up 100% was in denial about being a werewolf, to the point that you couldn't convince him otherwise.
There's an idea. Denied being a werewolf to the point that he believed he was a vampire.
Yeah, he didn't convince other people that he wasn't. They knew he was a werewolf. He was convincing himself. Like, he was in denial so hard that physically he refused to acknowledge that he was ever a werewolf. Even when it was like literally he was on the verge of death in certain circumstances where it's like, admit you're a werewolf. And he goes, I'm not though. I can't admit I'm a werewolf. Anytime he turned into a werewolf, I just gave him to the DM, and I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want, by the way. Because, like, sometimes like, depending on what game you're playing, sometimes you do have control over yourself in a werewolf state, especially if, like, you've trained for it, if you've gotten better at it. And I never trained or got better at it in any way, but the DM still added points to the werewolf, so it was basically treated as a completely separate character. And it just turned into the DM playing against the actual players. It was pretty fun. I liked it.
Please tell me that this werewolf had a punny name that was obviously a werewolf.
No.
His name wasn't like Wolfram or something?
No, he was a completely different character who just happened to become a werewolf because of something that happened early on in the campaign. It was just random chance.
So you didn't plan it?
Nope.
No?
Did not plan it. I roll with the punches. That's just how I do.
What did you start with? What did you plan to start with?
He was just he was a fighter who so he considered himself a healer, basically. Like he started out as just being like, yeah, I'm a cleric, and they're like, do you believe in God? And he's like, no. And the entirety of his like specs and everything, like everything that I had rolled him into, was all physical. Like he was 100, he had like more levels in fucking fighter than he did in cleric, and he was like, I'm a cleric. It's just like literally just the denial of the character. It was good. I liked it.
Oh, Mason, we saw the link. It's up the thing. Can't look at it right now because we're doing this, but I'll keep it in mind.
Mm-hmm.
It is a fan dub of a scene in Appmon. Okay. I've only ever, let's see, there was the one time I did like a single session of the thing one of your friends did, but I was really bad at it and then never got back into it, where it was like, my character was a slime monster, but she was also a magical girl.
Yeah, that was a homebrew system.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get very far in that, partly because you wanted to do it through voice and I was not super comfortable.
You really
Obviously, I've become comfortable using my voice online, but at the time I was like, there's voices.
Like, I don't want to talk to people. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here in my empty house talking to the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it felt weird, so it didn't go very far. There was a somewhat recent thing that me and some friends that I'm currently kind of not in the same chat as them for a while. I just decided to leave, for was like, I'll come back later. You guys are being weirdos. But like we were going to do a thing using a weird, I think it was like from the 90s, a weird system called Big Eyes Small Mouth that was an anime thing.
Yeah, we have a book for that, right?
Yeah, it's like basically I was going to play, they let you be a Pokemon trainer sort of.
Well, we had an additional book for it, but it was mostly fluff, wasn't it? Like we looked into it. And...
Yeah, it was annoyingly nothing.
Yeah,
but
which
is
unfortunate.
Like the whole place was going to be like a weird underground society where everyone was living in like GeoCities, but they're real cities. And she was a nun from a church that used Pokemon, sort of, but the Pokemon were Sonic the Hedgehog recolors. It was kind of it was an ironic thing. We didn't go very far with it though. Yeah. Like I had a character sheet, that was it.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then I want to say about 10 years ago, some other people I knew who I'm not really like involved with anymore were going to do just straight up D&D thing, and my character was going to be, I don't know what class she was, but she was a human. I think she was like a rogue or something. She was an archaeologist, and I was insistent that her weapons were a feather duster for taking the dust off of artifacts she finds, and a scalpel.
That's not really how feather dusters work, though.
Well, it could have been like a little brush or something.
I'm just saying, like...
But it was going to be that, like, she looks like she's just a scholar who's just here to look at, like, wall carvings and shit. But then she can whip out, like, the feather duster was going to be for distracting people, and then the scalpel was for, like, stabbing you in the eye.
Yeah.
And then she was also really good at dismantling traps, and also could speak, like, bugbear for some reason. She was just, like, a weirdly specialized nerd. And that never went anywhere. I don't remember why.
Yeah.
It was just the guy who was organizing it just forgot to organize it. Maybe someday we'll do some kind of tabletop thing.
Well, I've been watching a lot of people do tabletop stuff. The last time that I raided somebody when we were streaming, I felt really bad because I didn't prepare you guys for what was going on. I was aware of what he was doing, like a 24-hour, and he was starting it by playing D&D. So it occurred to me after I had raided that I didn't bother telling anyone that he was playing D&D. And that's something that's really, if you are not like somebody who does a lot of tabletop stuff, that might not be very interesting. And I was like, oh fuck, I should have at least let them, like, gave people a heads up. Like, shit.
How does that work, by the way, when you stream it? Was it like him and a bunch of other people?
It's him and a bunch of other people talking through Discord, and they're doing it in Roll20.
Okay.
Like I was saying.
He's
just
so
a really
shiny.
good system for it. He knows I'm here, he's just not fighting me? Is that what's going on? Yeah. Okay.
There he goes.
I was confused for a second. I was like, he knows I'm here, right? Like, he can see me? Is he blind? No, he's fine.
Yeah, this is one of those monsters who will just kind of walk away if you don't do anything. He's not like Otogar, who's extra all the time.
I mean, he's not an herbivore, he's a bonivore, but like... Or whatever the fuck that would be.
Yeah.
I don't even know what an animal that eats exclusively bones would be. I know hyenas do it in real life, but that's just like...
I think you did like just consider it a mineral at that point, so whatever you'd call that.
I don't know if there are any animals in real life that eat exclusively minerals.
Yeah, but like the word roots in Latin would exist and could be put together.
I guess.
Like a lithivore?
Or orivore? You know what? Lithivore sounds cooler, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, that's just rock. Technically he's not eating rock, but Uragon does, right?
Yeah, Uragon does.
And they're related, so you could just say it's a blanket term for this kind of thing.
Sure. I think technically they're just brute wyverns. That is the blanket term that you use for these guys, but brute wyvern is a little bit too much of a blanket term in my opinion. There's a lot of things that are considered the same that do not look or
Urgons and Baroths and I can't think of it. Wingless things usually.
Yeah, things without wings that typically have 4 legs are considered brute wyverns.
Yeah, when it's clearly still a wyvern and not a mammal. Mammals have their own name.
I forget what it is, but yes, I want to say it's like beast wyvern or something like that. Wyvern is kind of a catch-all term, honestly. It shouldn't be, because sometimes they use the correct like usage of Wyvern, and then sometimes they don't. It's like, Monster Hunter, make up your mind. Fuck. Not everything is a Wyvern.
I'm noticing, sorry chat, this isn't relevant for you. Your tablet's at like 6%.
Yeah, I know.
We've both got our tablets out so we can both look at chat. If suddenly Josh can't see what's going on, it's because I have to tell him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I've charged my tablet in like 3 weeks, so that's probably why. I'm very much the kind of person who just forgets to plug things in all the goddamn time, so that I pick them up like 2 days later and they're at 0, and I'm like, who could have done this? Who caused this problem? And it's like, oh,
and the thing just keeps wasting its own power by having like notifications go off when you didn't care.
I think I've turned off all notifications, but I think they keep turning themselves
Yeah,
back on.
that's how that works. You turn it off, it updates itself, turns it back on, or just randomly turns it back on because it's been a while since you checked.
Yeah. So going back to the variety stream like thing that we were talking about, though.
Oh, you want to go back to that?
Yeah, because we were talking about it, and then we didn't actually talk much about it.
I wanted to keep the starter thing vague.
Yeah,
and
you
we
can
said
do that.
Tomodachi Life was going to be in there somewhere.
Tomodachi Life is something that we had a concept for running out, which is, I mean, it's not something that could carry an entire stream on its own, I'm pretty sure, so it would literally just be a part of it.
I think you had said roughly 2 hours per game, but it's probably lower for certain things.
Yeah, it's depending on whether, if it's a bad game, we just won't touch it.
This starter game is something that intentionally I kind of wanted to keep as like, it's probably not going to last very long. It's like a warm-up and then a few laughs.
I don't think I'm going to be able to beat this guy in 10 minutes, by the way. He's a little rougher than I had wanted to fight. And he is, yeah, I'm wasting enough time that I don't think it's going to happen.
You could go back to attempt and get bombs.
No, it wouldn't help. Like, he's being a little too roll happy, and he's doing that whip at the end of his tail that just tosses bombs out.
We're being asked if we stream more Monster Rancher. It's not off the table, it might.
No, we'll definitely do that. I don't know if that'll be in the variety stream, because the variety stream is just going to be garbage, but like, I mean, it's not actually garbage.
Yeah, but the Monster Rancher, maybe.
Fucking asshole. Yeah, I mean, if we have time, maybe we'll just, no, you know what, I can't do this. It's not that it's like too difficult, it's that the time restraint on it is like 15 minutes. And it's like, nah, that's not gonna work. I'm not gonna get this done in 15 minutes. Not as I currently am. I would have to...
It's the second pip.
I'd have to set up a different build.
Ban and quest.
Yeah, return from quest.
Does that mean that it's not abandoned, like you can go back in?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it
makes me feel better because it doesn't give me the "you lost" sound effect. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, everyone wants candy.
Yeah, everybody wants the return of candy.
Honestly,
I'm sorry. Too. Yeah, I'm sorry we kind of held off on doing that for so long because we kind of were like, oh, well, we want to do more streams, and then our internet fucked up.
And it's been fixed.
Like, yeah, well, we for a while, it was like we couldn't. We just straight up could not do more streams. It was not an option. It wasn't going to work. And then we fixed it, and we were like, oh, yeah, now it's fixed. And then we just kind of went, let's see if we can play Pokemon.
It was for his birthday,
yeah, and
so
then
he wanted
we
to just
waited from like February all the way to like
the release of this
August to do nothing, and then we played just the hell out of this game. So yeah, we're definitely gonna go back. I think we're gonna do Monster Rancher eventually. We might start doing Red version again because I really want to go back to that too. The Adventures of Trash King and Crimbo Williams. I mean, come on, who doesn't want that?
Yeah. And we beat Misty, that was about it.
Yeah, I think there have been people who have actively been telling us to go back to it, by the way, and have been saying that they weren't as interested in Monster Hunter, and they're like, just call me when you go back to that. And it's like, oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Like, it's fine, I like this game, though.
I might, at some point, like, just tell my work, hey, just give me this day and this day off. Every week. I'll just say, like, I'm going to have obligations here.
Yeah.
And then we can have something regular. I've tried that in the past, but the way I approached it last time was, are there specific days where it would be okay for me to have a consistent day off? Because I'd like to make plans. They're like, oh, well, so you don't have plans, so it doesn't matter. Don't make plans. It's like, they've slightly changed the way they're doing the schedules, by which I mean they've stopped completely butchering what my department manager writes down.
Yeah.
Because they were doing that for a long time, and it was screwing everything up. And I think, so I work in the Starbucks inside of a grocery store. So we have the store management, and then also Starbucks' district manager, who, well, it's not for the entire district, it's for specifically the licensed stores, so it's like the ones that aren't regular Starbucks. But she comes in and checks in on us, make sure everything's right, and sometimes has to yell at the store manager when they're screwing us up. So I think what may have happened was we got our schedule cut up badly too many times. They're required to, you know, keep us staffed and stuff, so, like, now they'll actually listen to the department manager and let her make her own schedule for once. And then I can go in and look at what she's got written down, potentially, and find specific days that we can just have, based off of the other people in my department having college on certain days, or having to find babysitters for their kids on certain days. And I'll be like, okay, well, I've got space here and I've got space here. I have to have 2 days off a week anyways, because it's overtime if not, and they don't want to pay me extra. We're in a union, so it's actually pretty nice for things like that. They're not going to screw me over or force me to do overtime. But anyways, like, if I can find it consistently, week by week by week, just this one day, I don't really care which day, but hopefully a weekend, but no promises, then we'll see if we can just get streams done all the time.
I mean, originally we were talking about maybe making certain specific, like, amounts of streams a Patreon goal. But I feel like if we can do it, like, maybe we should think about just doing it, not making it a goal at all. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Definitely be a good idea.
Yeah, at least for very specific games that are super streamy, as opposed to being things we would LP just on our own.
Also, yes, unions are good. Unions are very good.
Hell yeah. That's the main reason I haven't quit this job a million times over. Because it's very secure. Like, just, if you're looking for a union job, just, like, see what your local grocery stores are, and I'm not sure if you'd
not
have
all of them
to...
are going to have unions.
Yeah, not all of them are. I'm not sure how you'd be able to figure it out. You might have to just go in and ask someone at said stores, but you can find out which ones they are and just apply there. I will tell you just off the bat, just Walmart is not in unions, Target is not in unions.
Okay. I used to work at a Target. It's not quite the same thing, but I'm going to tell you right now that, like, Target and Walmart both, Amazon as well, discourage the use of unions.
They're really scummy about it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's to the point of being pretty disgusting. It's literally like, they will tell you that if you see somebody from the union show up, you should report them to management and actively shame them and try and bully them out of the store.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if you're actually allowed to talk about people doing that at Target or whatever, but, like, I don't care.
He worked there for like a month.
Me.
It was seasonal.
Yeah, they fired me. They deserved to fucking... They fucked up my back, like,
Do you want to actually talk about that?
No, we don't have to.
No, I mean, I just wasn't going to say anything because it seemed kind of personal.
Well, yeah, it's a little personal, but I fucked up my back while working there because I had to lift, like, a 100-pound box off the fucking floor. And upon fucking up my back, they fired me.
For having been absent because you had a fucked up back. Yeah,
more or less. It was kind of a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, no workers' comp, no anything.
No, that's fine though. I don't care. I'm done. I'm just not gonna work there. I wanted to do a Paolumu, and I can't figure out where my Paolumus are.
There it is.
There's one.
It's not low rank.
Yeah, I need a high rank one.
You might not have one.
I swear to God, I had a high rank Paolumu. Was like an event quest that I was doing for a while?
You had an event quest, but it was low rank for the Wyvern Ignition.
That's true, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. I swear to God, I've got a high rank somewhere. I must.
I don't think so.
Is it in here? If not that,
there it was.
one. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Loop the Paolumu. What's this up here? Radobon. I just want to do one Paolumu, and then we'll call it good, I think. That'll be our finale. It's not much of a finale, but it's a finale.
Yeah.
You know
You're
what,
trying
actually-
to get something specific?
Are you
Yes,
okay?
I want to get more pelts off of the
Okay.
thing. Because there's something that we kind of started towards the progress of making, and then we never finished. So I'm just gonna finish it this way.
Is it the cat head?
It's the cat head.
Yeah.
I gotta find it first. Again, the Paolumu. I mean.
There it is.
There it is. And then we turn that down to 1, and then we do this, and then I do that, and then we do this. There we go. Okay. There. Yeah, somebody said it, but yeah, nurses, by the way. Somebody said they heard nurse hours are terrible. That is what I have heard as well. I have heard that nurses basically get just some of the worst hospital hours ever.
Yeah. That's like, and you'd think of anyone they would deserve a union because they keep people alive.
Yeah, you'd think so anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, most nurses do, definitely, because there's not, more dead people than there are nurses. Wait, actually,
That
maybe
doesn't
there are,
track.
actually. Wait a minute. I think I'm kind of saying things without thinking, and that sort of popped out of my head. And it's like,
That's fine.
that's not technically true. There are definitely more dead people out there than nurses.
That just returns to
Oh,
headquarters.
I thought it was one of the zip lines. Is this... where the hell do I want to go? Where is this Paolumu? Show it to me.
Well, go down to the pink zone and then look for footprints. That's usually the best way to get to it. You probably just need more research points on it.
I'm pretty sure I've maxed out Paolumu.
Well-
Like,
Maybe research points was the wrong word. The scout fly levels, slightly different.
I think I mean, they're pretty high too.
Well, then I don't know. Always keep an eye out for the weird coral birds and for wiggler queens.
Yeah, I don't really care too much, but sure.
Yeah, that's the direction you want to head.
Yeah, I don't know why I was going the other direction for a minute there. Fancy fish. More of these things. I mean, it's not the right time of day for wiggler queens anyway. Wow, that is some weird sun.
Yeah, I can never tell if it's daytime or not here.
Pretty sure that's daytime. But you're right, it doesn't quite look like it. Jeez.
Yeah. What were we saying about... I lost track of us. Unions are
Yeah,
good.
go ahead and start reading some things in chat because I know people are talking.
Yeah, people are talking about non-union jobs, which are scummy. That reminds me
They
of what
are.
I was
They're
going to say.
pretty bad.
I remember now what I was going to say. That I was incredibly lucky to get the job I did because it basically has carried our survival. So we used to live in Hawaii where I grew up. Josh came to live with me for a while, and then we left for reasons. And we came and stayed at his mom's place for a little while until we could get on our feet. From the time we
there
got...
he goes. He's taking off. Fucker. I hate this thing.
The time we got off the plane to the time I got the job was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I lucked the fuck out.
And it's a really nice job, like, honestly.
It's annoying and terrible, but
Well,
like
it's nice in that
non-union is like
it's
20 times
union,
worse.
and it's like, it doesn't pay like absolutely nothing. So
Yeah, like I lucked out super hard,
yeah.
but like that job, like because it's in a union, I get pay raises based on hours worked. So I've been there about 9 years now. I'm topped out on the union contract. I make enough that we can afford an apartment in California. That's pretty good.
Oh, there
Just
we go.
without getting into specifics, it's expensive as dicks to live here.
Yeah, California is not, even in like really shitty parts of California, it's still pretty expensive to live here.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like amazing, we're not like thriving, but like holy shit. Basically, we're a one-income household that's holding our own because I lucked out 2 weeks off of the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So appreciate unions.
Like talking, I mean, going back to a point that we were talking about earlier. If you guys ever want to hear me just ramble for nonsense about like, I don't know, like tabletop stuff, let me know, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do something. I don't know. I'm
not sure how we both together.
Yeah, you know what? Like maybe I was speaking prematurely there because I don't know. Either.
Yeah, it might be a thing where you have to get friends involved, and then you have to worry about like friend schedules.
Yeah,
case in point, Monster Hunter.
That's fair. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Because the squad was a big fucking thing when we started this out, and then everybody in there just kind of fell into different schedules, and nobody can play together anymore, and it's just like, fuck me, dude.
Or just weren't playing online, like they were just kind of doing solo stuff.
I'm pretty sure there were some people who were just playing by themselves, and I was like, hey, you're in the squad for a reason, and they're like, hey, I don't want to play.
No, like you can't make them. They're not. They are getting no compensation.
I'm not going to force people because that's not right.
Yeah, there's no compensation other than you're helping them with hunts.
Yeah, basically. And it's not like they were even working for my schedule. I mean, for the first few hunts, we were working to their schedule. That's why we were doing so much stuff.
That and it was new game.
Yeah.
You know, the shiny new game feel.
Yeah, that's it. I expected GU to kind of make the squad, like, at least want to play more, and then they kind of didn't.
Yeah, but that's no one's fault.
No, not really.
Yeah, but if you wanted to do a D&D thing, you'd have to have people dedicated to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly, like,
and it might be kind of hard to find people to do D&D stuff with.
As a collaborative project that everyone has an equal share in, as opposed to just people showing up for our channel.
Oh, no, that's still fine. I don't think anybody has any problem with that.
I don't know. They'll ask if you're getting money out of it.
No, we get money out of nothing. We don't make money doing this.
That's not 100% true.
We make money out of the Patreon, which is completely different, but, like, we don't make money streaming at all. Like,
yeah.
Or doing, I don't know how many people, like, I've talked about this a handful of times, but it's like, we don't make anything doing monetization through YouTube or anything like that, because we lost monetization on my birthday this last year.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate timing.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate, and it was like really depressing, and we didn't even make money off of that anyway, though. We literally never made money off of any of our anything.
Yeah, let's not complain about money so
No.
much,
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. But if you
saying.
wanted a consistent cast of other people involved, there would have to be more than just, can we do it? That's all.
Speaking of, like, thank you guys. If you're patrons right now, thank you very much. I know James Mason is. I think Fat Bees is. I can't remember right exactly. I don't have it written down in front of me, but, like, thank you guys a lot, because we really do appreciate when you guys are patrons.
Thank you to Stephanie, who's a double patron.
And she's not here right now.
Yeah, like she watches the archives, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she does. I think she has a job that's too busy for her to do anything.
Yeah, it's probably just scheduling. Because we do this at weird times sometimes. But, like, Stephanie is a patron on the Hundera channel patron, and on my personal one, where I do art stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit behind on doing a monthly patron commission for her. And Mason's also a double patron. Yeah,
Mason is too.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not super good at keeping track of how much art people are owed, but also, like no one is required to put in their sketch requests at any given time. You can just hoard them and then build it up, and then like ask me later, like, hey, I've got like this many months of patron, like, can I just get like a really big thing? It's like, yeah, you can, and like anytime. Throw rocks at me if I have not remembered to do things. I say this to everyone. I logged into Second Life for the first time in months, like a couple of days ago, and encountered someone there and was like, hey, throw rocks at me if I forget to do things. Just do it. Like, if there's a thing I owe you or that I should owe you.
Oh, fuck me. That was unpleasant. Thanks, Siyaku. Oh, fuck.
But, like, it's just... Oh, wait a minute.
What's that?
St. Mog is Stephanie. I didn't notice.
Oh, how did you not know?
I didn't know the name St. Mog was the same person.
Yeah.
I don't think if she ever mentioned it, it wasn't Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
Good.
I'm late on things for several reasons. Second Life is only one of them and low on the list.
Okay.
I haven't done a laser wing page in a while either. Damn, you could have kept yourself secret and then said all kinds of shit.
Yeah. I mean, we were just saying really nice things, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, like she could have
yeah.
kept it a secret and then said weird things, and we wouldn't have known who said it.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, I did know who Saint Mog was.
Oh, shit.
I didn't remember that Saint Mog was in the chat, though. That was...
Oh. Yeah, I think your tablet's mostly dead.
Yeah, I can't see almost anybody anymore. My tablet's, like, completely
It's in
gone.
low power mode. Mine's on.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's Stephanie. She's great,
Hey,
and she'll
up?
never hear us say it because she's not in the stream.
Yeah. Well, everybody's great. I seriously value, like, everyone who bothers to watch our dopey butts do anything. Like, thank
Are
you
they
guys
watching
so
our
much.
butts?
No, they're watching us, but we are butts.
Yeah, I don't. You didn't tell me there was a camera.
No, yeah, butt cam. Like,
That's never happening.
no, that sounds like a disgusting.
That'll
idea.
get us banned from something.
It probably. I don't know. Probably though.
Maybe not right away, but
Yeah, it deserves to be, banned.
Yeah.
Oh god, this fucking bat.
yeah. If we ever do a thing, which probably won't happen because like of the logistics of doing it from across the room, but if we ever do a thing where you're playing a game and I'm drawing, I can do butt drawings.
I'd rather not. Also, yeah, you have an issue where I think we've talked about this before, but like you really don't like the idea of being able to hear me twice.
Oh yeah, no. We tested it once through Discord just to see how it would work, and it basically just snapped my brain. I could not do it. Hey, party boy!
Oh, hey, what up? Well, here comes a turf war.
Is he really far away, or is he kind of small?
No, he's really far away. He's
I
coming
mean,
in.
There he is.
Oh no, is he not interested in the Paolumu? He just wants me? Oh, good. What up, party boy?
Yeah, no, that's a full-size party boy.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah, no, I was hoping he was a kind of small one because we were talking earlier about tiny Devil Joes. I was just thinking, oh shit, is it a tiny little
No,
pancake
he's
Devil Joe
shy
will fit in my
effing
hand?
gigantic.
No,
Yeah, no. Is he small or is he just far away? It's like no.
They're so big, it's hard to be sure
closer.
sometimes.
It's literally like that scene out of. Do you remember first season Pokemon Island of the Giant Pokemon?
Yes.
Where they think there's just a small Pikachu walking towards them. It turns out to be like 80 feet tall. It's just that. Just that, but with a huge Tyrannosaurus that wants to eat us right now.
He's so big that it was far enough away that I wasn't sure. Just
No,
genuinely,
yeah,
he's
You're never gonna get
so
an actual
fucking big.
tiny one. That literally is like fucking 100% event. You will never get
Yeah, but even if he was just a little
Oh my
bit
God.
smaller, it would have been cute.
that. They don't really get that small, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, part of his point is that he's fat. He
Well,
just
he's
eats everything.
Giant. He's not even all that fat. He's
No, I
just-
mean, like, his gimmick is eating, so he has to be big enough to eat a bunch of things.
This is what a crocodile looks like on two legs, honestly.
And steroids.
No, this is not the crocodile on steroids. You have to wait until we get like G rank to see that. That's so I think I've mentioned this before, but Devil Joe used to have two forms. This is normal Devil Joe. This is Furious Devil Joe. He's angry.
Well, he's usually a little.
There's another Devil Joe. He's not a subspecies. In fact, he is normal Devil Joe, but he is considered a separate monster sometimes, and it's called Savage Devil Joe. It is a Devil Joe who has gotten so angry that he is no longer able to, like, keep himself together. This is Devil Joe not being as angry as he can be, basically. And Savage Devil Joe is basically, you know that thing he does where he breathes the dragon breath that he was doing? Imagine that all the time, and it's so incredibly intense, it's starting to break out of his back. So his entire body, with the exception of his legs, is covered in a miasma of black smoke and red lightning, and his eyes are bright red, and he basically just looks like he is just a moving cloud of just absolute rage.
You intending to take him down?
I wasn't, but he's in the way, so I am gonna have to just at very least keep him.
Oh, it's that thing the trees
keep
do.
him out of here. But that, oh yeah, the weird
thing
like
where they
throbbing
retract.
thing they do. Yeah. Let's see. Break his hip real quick and see how that goes. I actually just want to take his tail off real quick.
That's fair. It's a nice souvenir. I
It
want
can
to
be,
take one of those really good high quality renders of monsters that they've got on the Monster Hunter wiki. And one of the wikis has them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a Devil Joe and just draw a little Hawaiian shirt onto him.
Little-
I don't know. He just looks like he'd like it.
I mean, maybe.
Like it just occurred to me that he looks like it would be good.
Maybe. I guess. You know, it's
There
screw
he
it. Let's
goes.
go after him. We're after Joe.
You might want to heal.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh,
And on the topic of Double Joes, if you haven't seen it yet, you guys have to watch Let Me Smash Monster Hunter version. I don't know what that
I know
is.
what that is.
Okay.
I have not only seen it, I've been aware of it since it first came out. That particular guy who made that is a fairly well-known, I want to say Singapore artist, and I basically started following the guy when he first started posting things. Like,
Is this a hipster brag?
decades ago. No. I'm just saying straight up, like, that guy's been around for fucking forever, and his stuff is really, really good. I followed him way before he was even professional. It's really nice. He's a cool dude. I think I've had conversations with him, but if I have, they've been literally, like, things that are of no consequence whatsoever. So, yeah.
There he goes.
There he goes.
There he
again.
joes.
But yeah, no, the Let Me Smash. I got blue. Girls love blue.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen this, but I'm sure it's funny.
It's literally somebody did a dub for a document, like a nature documentary, where it's just a bunch of birds making nests. And it's the kind of nesting where it's like, oh, well, the male bird brings in twigs for the female and tries to impress her and all that other stuff. And they do a nature documentary where the birds are just talking, and it's all kinds of bird talk. And then they went in and reanimated the entire thing to just be Devil Joe, bringing Kurapeko like meat. So blue, which is just the sleep meat that everybody uses on fucking Devil Joe forever.
Which you don't have on you right now.
Nah, and then yellow, which is the second most used, which is just paralysis. But I don't know why you want to like paralyze a Devil Joe, just put it to sleep. Savage Devil Joe, though, is like a really
Hey,
big...
there's sleep frogs in this area.
Yeah, there are. I could use them if he would lay off a little bit.
He won't.
You know, he's not gonna. I'm just gonna need to get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm dead.
Good luck.
Yeah, I did not survive. That's fair.
Well, you still gonna try for him, or are you gonna actually do your mission?
Yeah, I guess I'll do the actual mission. If he shows up again, I'll start beating on him again, but I should just focus on what I came here to do. I'm sorry, it's Monster Hunter. That's how it works. You get distracted by something, and then you're distracted for, you know, ever.
Yeah, I mean, normally when that happens to me, it's because I'm catching pets, but yeah, Devil Joe's a distraction.
Yeah, Devil Joe's just... He is. It sounds like sarcasm. I can't tell if you're serious
Well, normally
or not.
I run away from that kind of shit.
Oh, I go after him.
Yeah. He kicks your ass, because he's Devil Joe.
Yeah, but, I mean, not even all that much. He only kicked my ass because I was, like... I don't know. I was stunned. I feel like stunning happens a lot more often in this game than it did in other ones. I could be wrong.
Possibly. But you can get stun resistance as a skill.
Yeah,
so,
you can. And you can do it in other games, too. Wow, he's already pissed off. Huh.
Did he ever stop being pissed off?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's just residual piss.
Don't phrase it that way. That's disgusting.
I know. I know it is. But
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. He just never stopped being mad.
Oh, if we could talk about, like... we keep talking about it, but if I could bring up, like, one more Digimon thing real quick.
Always.
It is so weird that there are certain Digimon that clearly have, like, things that are designed for them, and then most of the time they're never used. Like, as an example, Guilmon has a in training form, right? That just looks like a small Guilmon. And it's used sometimes, but primarily is ignored, and they use a completely different in training one. It's used in, like, the show, I think they use the fucking, just the Demi-Guilmon or whatever the fuck it is. But in actual games, they usually just give him as an option off of Koromon, like Fat Baby, like Agumon.
It makes sense for those two to be from a shared stem.
Yeah, they also slip Vmon in there sometimes. But Vmon also should have its own, like, proprietary, smaller, lesser form. Like, Demi-Vmon is a thing. I used to have a plush of Demi-Vmon. That was adorable.
There should just be, I guess it would just be baby protagonist-mon, and it's just, if you have
That's basically
goggles,
a
this
thing.
is your thing.
Yeah.
It's just like the digital gods just sort of look at the characters, find the one who's just already wearing goggles for some reason, and just like, here's yours. You didn't want the boring one? Well, that's what you get for the goggles. Take them off next time.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
That's honestly kind of how I was doing with the idea I was going. It's like the generic is just going to say the generic, and it's just like, well, fucking that's what you get for being generic.
That's what you get for being a gogglemancer.
That's what you get for being the protagonist.
How dare you?
And mostly I just didn't come up with anything better
Yeah,
for the main.
Hey, land down here. Let me fight you normal. Come here. There he is.
Just hit it with a rock.
I couldn't find any rocks. I was
Is
looking.
there not a red pit around here?
No, those aren't red pits. Those are the other ones.
Oh, those are
fire
fire
flowers.
herbs.
Yeah.
Next to the fire herbs, is that a rock? That is.
It's a slinger torch, I think. But
That
I thought
works.
there was one up here, but I clearly was wrong.
Yeah, Paluma's weak to fire.
Well, that's not what I'm headed for anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
well
gonna get
even
some
then, like it
scatter
would work.
nuts. No, you don't. No, come back. You fuck.
You've always had this problem with Palumas.
Why? Why do Palumas do this?
Maybe you just scare them.
Maybe.
Yeah, like the very first time you encountered a Paluma, it just fucked off.
Yeah, it just literally left, and it was like, oh, thanks.
Oh, it's sleep.
Okay.
You gonna try
Interesting.
for it?
I'm gonna pick up that footprint real quick, because clearly I don't actually have the level that I think I do for Palumu.
I guess. Yeah, it's sculling.
Do I even have any traps on me? I don't think I do. Nope, I'll just murder it. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, it would have
big ol'
increased
hit.
your chances of getting the pelt.
I don't think it would have.
Does capture not actually increase your chances?
It increases your chances of specific items, not all items.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding that people have with some of that stuff. Certain items, totally. Other items, not at all. They like, for a pelt, he's just leaving again.
Is he swinging back around? No.
No, he's just taking off.
Yeah,
Unless
what
he's
the hell?
pretending. Where are you going, dingus?
There's an
Oh.
X on the map, but that might be Devil Joe's X.
No, he came back. You see that? He came back.
Hell. Kept us waiting to kill you.
Oh,
Eh.
motherfucker.
I've been noticing every time he's faced away from you, the tip of his tail is sliced as part of the break.
Yeah, I think that's the break for the
That's
tail.
such a cuttable looking tail.
It
you
is.
Can't
I know.
actually
It's
take
so
it off,
annoying. It's like all armor, I guess, is the argument. So it's like, oh, you can't just slice it off because it's nothing but shell. It's a shell bat. There we go.
Yeah, no, like they tease you by taking the very tip of that tail off in the break graphic. It's
Yeah.
just makes me think like, oh man, can you just keep cutting it? Can you just give us that tail and we'll walk away with it?
There we go.
Okay, dead.
I think that's the first time I've done that to an animal while in the air, while mounted. But
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually.
Either way.
You had it down to single points of damage then, if that's how it went.
Yeah.
Nice. This was going to be the conclusion, correct?
Yeah, this is the end.
There was one other game that we were planning to do in the variety stream for certain. Did you want to talk about that one?
Up to you. Basically, like, another question that we had is, hey, how do you guys feel about Animal Crossing games? Not actual Animal Crossing, although maybe actual Animal Crossing. How do you guys feel about those? Like, as stream stuff? Because I think that they're pretty good for streams, but I feel like they're pretty good for streams right at the start, and then they kind of, like, wind down.
Which was part of why I was going to be in the variety stream as just a test.
Would you be interested in, let's say, Animal Crossing games that aren't actually Animal Crossing?
Of which I can only think of the one. Are there others?
Yeah, there's a few. I think there's an iCarly game that people argue is kind of an Animal Crossing game. Yeah, apparently that's a real thing. I don't know. It's just what I've heard.
I know next to nothing. It's like Hannah Montana, but with computers, right?
Kinda. It's like Drake and Josh, but with a girl.
All of this is like stuff
which is
for
like
children
inferior Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, like all of this was stuff that came out after we were adults, so I wasn't keeping track of it.
Yeah.
I think my sister used to watch Hannah Montana, so I got a vague exposure to that.
When Drake and Josh first came out, we were adults.
I think so. And anything that's post Hannah Montana, I
mean,
don't
kids,
give a
not
shit.
adults. I think we were young enough that we could have. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's like I don't even have the cultural osmosis of having been in the same room with someone who has watched the thing. It's like, no, I don't know.
I guess. Keenan and Kel was great.
If it's like live action tween TV, it's like, I don't know. They're all the same.
Yeah,
is Lindsay Lohan still on TV?
So it's like, I appreciate the Keenan and Kel shout out. Yeah, no, Keenan and Kel is great. Don't let anybody ever tell you anything else. Keenan and Kel is fucking amazing.
It is the best form of that format of Nick show.
Yeah, like, honestly, it might be.
All of the other ones that are basically just the comedy duo live action thing are just sort of derivative of it. Yeah,
all that's really good too.
Yes.
Although that has not been on the air in like 15 years.
Probably.
Let's be cats.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. I gotta find it first. It is in here somewhere. Where is it?
Oh shit, that's an idea.
Fofi line.
I'm being told to do one of the cell phone dating sims for the variety stream.
That would be really difficult to do.
No, it wouldn't. Technically, we could. It would essentially be us just doing dramatic voices. And it would just be me installing BlueStacks on your computer.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Jeez. I want to see this cat head. I gotta change my layered armor, though. Let me just change all
just
and turn it off.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I forgot you were wearing your regal ass armor.
I am a cat. You know what? Actually, could I just go in and turn the head off? Yeah, you can. Check that out.
Yeah, someone guessed the Animal Crossing game.
Yeah,
Magician's Quest, yep.
Yeah, okay, so we have Magician's Quest.
We purchased it, played it for like a day, and then didn't keep up with it, but that's in part because of no motivation when there's so many other things going on.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on for that. That was before we even moved to Hawaii, so that was almost 10 years ago that we bought that game.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, by the way, you can change the cat's color on this helmet.
Yeah, but you only get one color you can... Like, it just tints the entire thing.
I could do, like, oh, I'm full-on yellow, or I could be, like, more Tau. But I don't think you can go straight up with the Tau. I could be pink, could be blue, or green, or I could be a brown cat. I like the default one, though.
Yeah, I mean, the default's clearly what was intended to start.
Yeah. Can I just change the color palette? Yeah, I can. Okay, well, that's more green than I wanted.
Yeah, you want to bring down the saturation a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe...
Maybe bring down the brightness a little bit.
That, too.
That makes me Tau.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Now you're Tau's dad.
Yeah. There we go. That's Tau. I enjoy this helmet. I am so incredibly sad that we can't put anything we want on the layered armor. And we're kind of just required to use specific layered armor, because that is so depressing.
Yeah,
I'd like
you'd
to
just
look
always
like
be
this
Cat.
at all times, yeah. Otherwise I'd just literally be Cat. Let's be Cat. I am Cat.
Also, you can't put hats on that hat. So
Yeah,
you can't,
which is unfortunate.
You can't give it the eye patch.
No, that would look cool.
Yeah.
That would look too cool.
Just it's too much for the game to handle.
Yeah. The game can't handle all that awesome cat power.
You're gonna want to put some armor spheres on that thing.
Probably. I'm not actually wearing it. I'm going back to my normal thing.
Oh, well.
That's it looks cool, but that is not something to be wearing right exactly now. That is, by the way, a headpiece that increases your affinity with your palico. Mm-hmm. So it can be useful if... Oh god, I didn't actually say
If you've set it up so that your palico's got all the best stuff and doing... I would assume
I'm
like
assuming it's
the
probably
bomb
going to be
or
if
the
you're trying
powering.
to level them up, which is something we might want to do with Tau later. So we might switch over to that eventually, but for right now we're just going to end as we are.
Yeah, being the palico full time in Geo, it's like why would you do anything else?
So there are a lot of people who argue that that's basically the best class. I have seen people literally just say that they started playing as Palico and never stopped playing as Palico because it is basically the best class in the game. And it's like I find it hard to disagree with that. I totally agree with that, to be honest.
The only thing holding you back is that you're so dedicated to the greatsword.
Yeah, I mean honestly, that's the big part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a me personally thing.
Yeah. Do we got anything else we want to do, or should we start final thoughts?
I think we're good. Yeah, final thoughts.
You're gonna go sit and pet the
I'm gonna
booger.
sit down and pet something. We don't know who it's gonna be today. Could be anything.
Is it George?
Fucking George. He's making the walk. It might be George.
I think it's gonna be...
Oh, it looks like it's the fly.
Yeah.
That one doesn't have a name, but you know, that thing.
George just turns away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it's
I don't know what
Beelzebub.
to name the two bigger wasps.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah. So final thoughts. Go for it.
I'm sorry but not sorry about how much of this stream was me talking about my Digimon fanfiction that I haven't written. Because, eventually I do want to do, a little setup for that, and having said something once may, help motivate me to do it, because it's well, now I said it, now I gotta do it. After many other things.
You know what? Yeah, one of these is Beals, and the other is Jeff Goldblum. There we go. Those are the names for the Vigor Wasps. And now I'm petting... oh, wait. He swooped
really
in!
Needy today.
He swooped in and replaced the
regret
the jellyfish.
He's gonna regret that he did it.
Yeah, well, they always regret it,
come on.
because eventually we always
There
pop
we
it
go.
and they freak out. Like, I like the
Yeah,
like
the
the little flinch because they think the Vigor Wasp is gonna, sting them for it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you get for taking the attention away from our jellyfish.
God, there's a bee in that bed. Jesus. It's a
Welcome
giant
home,
bug.
dear.
Oh, God. Yeah, anyway, so I guess when we get back, the next stream we do is probably going to be the variety stream.
We're hoping. If my
Yeah.
work schedule continues to just screw us over randomly, it might just be delayed, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we will attempt to figure something out.
Worst case scenario, we just do it unannounced without setting up for a big day, but we'll still do at least a little bit. But that's if we can't get a good day.
We'll make an attempt anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back in there because I like ending the streams in here.
We got one more final thought that I think
Okay.
is important. Bee wife.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah. On that note...
You've technically got 2 bee wives.
God. Well, I've got one A wife and a B wife.
Am I the C wife?
Okay, good night, everybody. Good night, seriously.